So hello everyone. Welcome to the Only Blockchain Meetup in Real Life 0x3. Only here at SILI Delhi. I am Tina Nasco. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of Ownly, and I'll be your host for today. Alright, so quick question. Who among you here have already attended or participated in the previous blockchain meetups that you've had? Raise your hand if you if you participated in our meetups before. All right, so we have some coaches here. We have some newbies. The first people to attend here, we have Corby, Isma, Sir Henry, Beagle IT. We also have Carl. So thank you so much to everyone for attending. So a quick fact: did you know that the first ever blockchain meetup was held almost 3 years ago at Control Outward way back June 29, 2019. And yes, that's right, it's been a long time coming. So this one right here, this event right here, is our next event after the first two events before. So we're very excited that finally, after the pandemic, natuloy na ulit ang blockchain meetup natin. So let me take you to a trip down memory lane first. So the first blockchain meetup was held at Control Outward in June 29, 2019, and our topic was Sportcoin, the first cryptocurrency from Beacon. And of course, it was hosted by Beacon IT in partnership with Sportcoin, Crypto Solitaire, which is now Only, and of course, Only Coin. And the second blockchain meetup was held in the same venue on August 3, 2019, and the topic was Only Coin cryptocurrency tailored for all of your needs. And now, almost 3 years later, here we are again with the same vision in mind, and it is to build a stronger crypto community here in Bicol region. Where fellow Bicolano enthusiasts like us in blockchain industry can meet up and bounce ideas off each other. So, are you ready? That's the real question right here. Are you ready for today's meetup? All right. So, without further ado, let us all please stand for our invocation, followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Breathe life into our ideas and decisions. Help us build a team that is known, next time. Lord, come give us the inspiration to be the best we can. May we be achieving an example of forgiveness and truth. Inspire our thoughts, discussions, and ideas, and continue to remind us that all we ask these things in your name.
Alright, thank you so much. Can you please sit down for our next segment? Alright, some of you here, gusto ko lang matanong, who among you here are from People IT, the organization? Alright, we have a few people here. Sir Henry. Okay, so some of you here are from a community known as the biggest and most active tech community here in the Bicol region. With more than 5,000 members, Bicol IT is a community of IT professionals, students, educators, and enthusiasts who are from and in the Bicol region, Philippines, and they conduct regular seminars for free to augment the training needs and expose others to the latest trends and information technology. In line with that, I would like to call on Sir Henry Regondola, the President of Bicol IT, to give us his
So, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to SILI Deli. First of all, I would like to thank SILI Deli, Dr. Maninis, and the rest of the group. Thank you very much for letting us use this facility. Hopefully, this will not be the last event that we will have here this year. Yeah, it's pretty exciting that everyone is here. Medyo matagal na rin tayo walang SILI Live event. I think this is the first one. Tama? Sama-sama na tayo sa mga webinars na may bayad. So, webinar na, may bayad pa. This one is free for everyone to celebrate Bitcoin going to 20,000 USD. Congrats. And to celebrate Luna and USD. Then, feeling aside, blockchain has been a very interesting technology, not just for me. I've been involved in this technology for quite a while, maybe back in 2017, dealing legal drugs through the internet. So, blockchain currently has a lot of use cases na hindi pa natin nakikita. This is just the tip of the iceberg, NFTs. But in reality, there's a lot of things that it can do, and the only thing that is hindering its adoption is regulation. So medyo malalim na usapan yan, but at the end of the day, all of us here who are enthusiasts and early adopters of this technology, we are setting the foundation of its use in the future. And we have Ownly Sparkpoint, one of the pioneers in blockchain technology, not just in the Bicol region, but the whole Philippines. And we pray for more money for them. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, enterprising is all about taking profit, like sa mga traders. Wheels dito, yung mga wheels dito na alam. So, hopefully, God will help us in our noble pursuit of profit for us to be able to help more, right? Because at the end of the day, you cannot help if you're not in the position of helping. So for you guys, especially those who are new to this industry, I encourage you to learn more about it, understand it, by listening to our speakers who are not just your regular speakers. There are practitioners in this industry who has been adapting this technology, building this technology for a very long time. Mamaya may mga makikilala kayo dito na not just sa mga speakers, may mga makilala kayo dito na matagal na sa blockchain technology. Pwede nyo silang tanungin kung magkano na yung pinita nila, and magkano na rin yung nawala sa kanila. So, without further ado, welcome everyone, and I hope you enjoy this meetup. We have food there mamaya, and then we can do some socialization after. If you have questions, we are welcome to answer it. So, without further ado, I'll give it back to the MC. Thank you.
Alright, Sir Henry Regondola, the President of Bicol IT Organization. And now, moving forward, guys, SparkPoint has always been a company that supports us all here in making these events possible. And in fact, SparkPoint, together with Spark Learn and Tech, Bicol IE, and of course, SILI Delhi, we made this Only Blockchain Meetup in real life 0x3 a reality. So after so many URL events, we are now here face to face with each other. We are now growing and building a community that supports fellow blockchain enthusiasts, such as everyone here in this room right now. So to talk about introduction to blockchain, we have our first speaker, Dre Bangkalos, the Chief Marketing Officer of Spark.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
It's been a long time na sabi ni Tina, and tagal na panahon hindi tayo nagkikita-kita in real life. And we're so glad that I'm seeing familiar faces, I'm seeing new faces, and the old faces, like from SparkPoint, from SparkLearn, from Ownly, and even the very first project like the Solitaire that utilizes already blockchain, blockchain technology before. So before we start, sino ang baguhan sa blockchain technology or who haven't encountered yet any information or knowledge about blockchain, what are cryptocurrencies, mga ganun. Sino pa hindi nakaka-encounter or haven't been deeply involved? Arts! Arts haven't yet really dive sa blockchain technology. No. Hearts is one of our wheels. He's one of our oldest members in SparkPoint Technologies. We are innovations, not technologies. So I think when we encounter some jargons or some unfamiliar terminologies here in my presentation, you can easily understand it naman. Okay, so let me continue with my presentation for today, or this afternoon, an introduction about blockchain technology. So I am the current Chief Marketing Officer of SparkPoint Technologies, and I've been with the company since 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. So, kasaway ko dito sina Jumay, and the CEO of SparkLearn and Tech, Melissa Lucias. She's currently in Manila right now for some personal reasons. And of course, nabutan ko na sina Harvey, and some of the familiar faces from Ownly and SparkPoint. So let's start. So at a glance, we'll be discussing the following 3 key points about blockchain technology. But we will not be really diving deep on what are those specific applications of blockchain technology like cryptocurrency. Kapag pinag-usapan na kasi ang cryptocurrency, may disclaimer na dyan eh. So we're not offering or we're not encouraging you to what I mean is we're not really endorsing or promoting crypto here. We will be talking about what's the technology behind this cryptocurrency, NFT, metaverse, and so on and so forth. So our first key point here is what is blockchain technology all about? Second key point is the smart contract, the automated program in every blockchain technology. And the third key point are the different use cases of blockchain technology in our everyday life, and also its impact in today's society. Let's start with the first key point. What is blockchain technology? A little look back. The history pala of how it boomed. Paano nag-boom ang blockchain technology? So it all started October 31, 2008, when Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin white paper outlining a purely peer-to-peer electronic cash and digital asset transfer system. Next, please. It's the first popular implementation of blockchain technology and is attributed as birthing today's blockchain industry. So it all started with this unknown person. Wala nakakakilala sa kanya until now, but there are rumors, there are persona na naglalabas na ngayon, nagpapakilala siya sa Satoshi Nakamoto. But no one is no one of those person hadn't been identified as the real Satoshi Nakamoto. So, anonymous person siya until now. Pinaghahanap siya ng authorities, ng mga financial institutions, kasi ang grabe yung inambag niya sa pag-boom ng blockchain technology. And knowing his name, Satoshi Nakamoto, probably he's a Japanese, but it's a pseudonym. Anyone can use that name on the internet, can be made up by anyone, so probably high chances baka Japanese siya, or baka Filipino, or baka Englishman, taga-UK or US, who knows? Wala na ako confirm kasi pseudonym siya. He's the author of this white paper. Yan. So makikita niyo yung format nito, familiar siya. It's actually like an ordinary research paper from a college institution or university. But this paper really paved the way on using blockchain technology specifically in today's financial era. Nakikita natin na narinig natin cryptocurrency exchanges, peer-to-peer transfer, Binance, P2P, Bitcoin, Ethereum token, Sparkle token, Own token. So, ito yung nagbasihan ng lahat ng yan. Itong white paper na to, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system authored by Satoshi Nakamoto. So it can be found on bitcoin.org/bitcoin. It's a PDF. You can easily read it. You can easily go through the pages kung ano yung klaseng implementation nilagay dyan in Satoshi. All about his Bitcoin system. So next. Let's define what is blockchain. Blockchain is a distributed database, but its stored devices are not connected with a shared server. So meaning hindi siya stored in just a single server now. In blockchain, lists of records are stored as blocks and they are linked by using cryptography. Simply, it's a distributed and digital ledger of data that continuously add information in chronological order. So, deciphering the terminology blockchain. So you can say that it's a block and it's a chain. Pinagdugtong-dugtong the blocks. So these blocks are made up of different kind of information that make up the whole chain, which is now called blockchain. So it's a digital ledger. When we say digital ledger, it's a continuous list in chronological order. Sino yung may mga listahan dito na grocery list nila, may mga utang sa kanila, mga pinautang nila. So everyone can relate to this because it's also the same with blockchain. It is a digital ledger of data that is continuously adding information in chronological order. So next please. Ito yung key elements of blockchain technology. So, kanina na-mention ko, it's a distributed ledger. It's also a type of technology. All network participants have access to this distributed ledger and its immutable record of transactions. With this shared ledger, so kanina na-mention natin, hindi siya stored in a single server. It's also stored in a network of servers. With this shared ledger, transactions are recorded only once, eliminating the duplication of effort that's typical of traditional business networks. So when we say this distributed ledger technology, it's only recorded once. So it cannot actually be written or it cannot be altered or tampered by any additional information. You can only append to what is the last block that was being created. For example, a single block contains a transaction of a peer-to-peer transaction. Halimbawa, Gcash to Gcash or PayMine to PayMine. That specific block contains that transaction and it is appended on the latest block. So every time you create a transaction, it is appended on the next block. So thus making a chronological order of blocks. So immutable records. No participant can change or tamper with a transaction after it's been recorded to the shared ledger. So if a transaction record includes an error, a new transaction must be added to reverse the error, and both transactions are then visible. So since it's a blockchain of information, a chain of blocks, a chain of information and data, so every time there will be an error, it already exists on that specific chain. Makikita mo on that very chain, yung mismong error na nangyari. So how do you correct that error? You add another information that corrects that error that has existed already. So hindi siya nire-rewrite or pinapalitan ng ini-insertan. within the blockchain, but you add new information correcting that existing information. A new transaction must be added to reverse the error, and both transactions are then visible. So in this chain of data, the corrected data, the error is already recorded, and the additional transaction or record to correct that error is also listed in that chain. So that two specific information on that blockchain is already existing and it cannot be reversed. Okay? So meaning to say, if you explore it on yung mga common transactions na ginagawa natin, for example, on Etherscan, I think everyone is familiar with Etherscan and BSScan, where we explore our wallet address and see transactions. So kapag nag-error si MetaMask dahil kulang yung panggas, automatic recorded pa rin siya sa blockchain. But to restart that transaction, gumagawa ulit ng new transaction para mag-proceed yung transaction na failing na. So it's recorded in this record. It's recorded in this list. So immutable siya. And another key element of blockchain is, of course, smart contracts. So to speed up transactions, this set of rules called smart contract are stored on the blockchain and executed automatically. A smart contract can define conditions for successful transaction. Next, please. So how does blockchain works? Kanina medyo na-touch na natin tip of the iceberg about how it really works. So let's see how it really works in real life. Here's an example. So we have a scenario. Dre will transfer money to Carl. By the way, I'm Dre. My nickname previously is Carl. Nasa ligas ko na Dre. So Dre will transfer money to Carl. Let's assume it's a separate person. Step number one. Dre wants to send money to Carl. So, kailangan ko padala kay Carl. And for this to happen, you should create a transaction and it will be represented by a block online. So, this transaction is created in a block and is now represented online. The block is broadcasted then to every party in the network. Thus, this illustration showing that in every transaction created, it is automatically broadcasted on different servers. So it's not only stored in a single record or what, it's copied all throughout the network. Then, the network approves the transaction. So when there's already consensus within the network, this transaction is confirmed. So this certain amount has been approved by this network, then the block is added to the existing blockchain in a transparent and unilateral way. So, ibig sabihin, kapag na-append na yung block na yun sa existing blockchain, nadadagdag siya sa mismong listahan ng records na ginagawa in a blockchain. So, the transaction is already complete kasi na-approve na siya and Carl receives the money from trade. So, that's some sort of simplest way of how to define the process. I need to explain the simple process of blockchain technology using this ledger technology. So you can see medyo simple pa siya, but actually it's more complicated when you are already developing system utilizing blockchain technology. So we'll be discussing that a little bit further. Next please. So kanina naman mention ko kung ano yung block. So you can assume that it's a square, well, it's not really a square one in real life, but it's only codes that you can find in the blockchain system. It's a place in the blockchain where information is stored and encrypted. And blocks are identified by long numbers that include encrypted transaction information from previous blocks and new transaction information. And blocks and the information within them must be verified by a network before new blocks can be created. So these blocks, when transactions are created after every block, will comprise a blockchain. So, yung pinaka-fundamental na, kumbaga, nag-made up ng isang blockchain system. These are the blocks or information that are contained within these blocks. So, any information, it can be my age, it can be a numerical value, it can be characters, it can be letters, it can be It can be pictures, it can be multimedia files, it can be anything. So as long as pinagtagpi-tagpi mo sila in the ledger, it became a blockchain. So, narinig natin before NFTs, metaverse, nag-boom sila ngayon. So these are also compresses of different blocks. So these blocks also represent the real life files that are found on NFT, on metaverses, like sa NFT, sa Ownly, they already have different characters in Mustache Quest. These are also represented by block in the blockchain. So this information are stored in that block. Next. So in general, let's dive deeper on how these block of data are recorded in a blockchain. As each transaction occurs, it is recorded as a block of data. Those transactions show the movement of an asset that can be tangible, can be nahawakan, tangible. A product or intangible. It can be an intellectual file, it can be a digital file, whatsoever. The data block can record the information of your choice. Who, what, when, where, how much, and even the condition, such as the temperature of a goods shipment. For example, nirecord nyo dun sa block na yun or dun sa specific transaction na yun, in a scenario na nag-ship kayo ng different food products. And every time, di ba, na may shipment, halimbawa mga manok, na poultry products, kapag tina-transfer mo from one location to another, of course, you have to monitor the temperature or the room temperature kung saan naka-store yung mga poultry products. You have to maintain it. So in a food chain supply, you can easily monitor how the temperature changes as it travels from one location to another. So this is also recorded in a blockchain. That's one of real life cases of this technology. And each block is connected to the ones before and after it. As I said earlier, these are records that are in a chronological order. These blocks form a chain of data as an asset moves from one place to a place, and ownership changes hands. It can also change in ownership. It can be associated on different addresses. Halimbawa, may wallet address si Dre, may wallet address si Car, and kanina nag-transfer ng money si Dre to Car. That ownership of a certain information or that data is now owned by Car because it has been already transferred from one block, transferred using one block to another block, thus making Car the new owner of that specific information or data. So the blocks confirm the exact time and sequence of transactions, and the blocks link securely together to prevent any block from being altered or a block being inserted between two existing blocks. So ito pinagtatagpit or pinagdudugtong-dugtong ng cryptography. And these are linked by different security protocols para hindi siya ma-alter or kumbaga may masisilip na data between two blocks. These transactions are blocked together in an irreversible chain, so thus making a blockchain. Each additional block strengthens the verification of the previous block and hence the entire blockchain. This renders the blockchain tamper-evident, delivering the key strength of immutability. This removes the possibility of tampering by a malicious actor, like mga rug-pull projects. Usually, we have these instances that attacks a blockchain network, specifically sa past. Nabalitaan niyo yung may mga contract or smart contract by projects na nararag-pull and nakakapag-withdraw ng million worth of cryptocurrency assets. So there are bad actors that are really take advantage of blockchain technology to do bad things. So yeah, this removes the possibility of tampering by a malicious actor. But even though we said here that it removes the possibility, still, bad actors are really good with this. They studied these projects. They studied the blockchain that this project utilizes in order to infiltrate and to do bad things within their projects. And builds a ledger of transaction you and other network members can trust. So, in general, kumbaga, when you create this blockchain network, there are also different aspects that you should also consider. So it can differ from project to project. Like for us in SparkPoint, we are a cryptocurrency company. Based backed with a token called SRK token. So mostly our blockchain is consistent of cryptocurrency transactions. And for Only, they are a project consisted of different NFT files or multimedia files like PNG, JPEGs of these artworks and these creations by different artists. So these are also represented in their blockchain. But I'm not saying that we have already this specific blockchain that we have created. We are just utilizing existing blockchain system networks in order to take advantage of this technology and for us to create our products and services. So it differs, it varies project to project. Next, please. Now we go to smart contract. Actually, this is the most fundamental factor in a blockchain system or a blockchain network. Let's define it. Smart contracts are simply programs stored in a blockchain that run when predetermined conditions are met. They typically are used to automate the execution of an agreement so that all participants can be immediately certain of the outcome without any intermediary involvement or time loss. They can also automate a workflow, triggering the next action when conditions are met. So who uses here DeFi system or decentralized finance application like um, who already use our SparkPoint products like staking apps, bridging applications, bridging app, and Launchpad platform. You know, when we participate to these applications or decentralized apps, these apps are mainly regulated and run not by people. Well, technically yes, by people, but run by smart contracts. So these transactions or data that we have mentioned earlier, these blocks interact with smart contracts on different DeFi application. As an example, DeFi application. Also, on different application of blockchain technology, these smart contracts are used to automate different processes. So it's not just about cryptocurrency, no? Mamaya kapag diniscuss natin yung different use cases ng blockchain technology, smart contracts are really deeply involved and really actually interacts with this data in order to automate different kind of processes for convenience, for efficiency, and for to help their everyday life and to automate different processes in their systems. Next. So here are various use cases of smart contracts. When we have smart contract in a blockchain, speed, efficiency, and accuracy, once a condition is met, the contract is executed immediately. Because smart contracts are digital and automated, there's no paperwork to process and no time spent reconciling errors that often result from manually filing in documents. So let's take smart contract as a program in real life. When you see different computer applications or apps, halimbawa, photo editing software, Photoshop. You want to, ngayon kasi ang Photoshop meron ng AI capabilities if you updated to the latest version. Like blurring a background, making bokeh effects on certain photos. So the Photoshop has these algorithms within them that automatically do these processes. So that's how we compare the smart contract in this kind of application. For example, Photoshop. In blockchain technology and in different blockchain applications, like what we offer in SparkPoint, like in our decentralized finance system, SparkPool, a staking application, staking decentralized app, or you can stake your token and earn back. So it utilizes smart contract to automate processes. When you stake a certain amount of token, the smart contract automatically computes how much you have and automatically records the amount of token that you have and automatically compute the reward rate that you will receive all throughout the period that you deposited your cryptocurrency asset or asset. For example, SID token. So smart contract regulates these processes in these decentralized apps. So that's one real life use case of smart contract in applications. So trust and transparency. No participant can change or tamper with the transaction after it's been recorded to the shared ledger. If a transaction record includes an error, a new transaction must be added to reverse the error, and both transactions are then visible. Similar as earlier, these smart contracts are deeply involved with this linked data, ledger data that are already existing in the blockchain. So you can trust it, it's transparent because all transactions are recorded in this ledger and you can easily inspect and see if the data has been successfully transferred, if this information has been accurately executed, you can easily see it in the blockchain. In real life, you will use blockchain explorers like Etherscan, BSC in order to check if your cryptocurrency transfer has been successful to another wallet address. Halimbawa, kanina, pinag-usapan natin yung transfer natin ng money from Greek to card. In cryptocurrency trading, this also it utilizes smart contracts that moves this information to another block and records it in the ledger data. So kapag gusto mo i-verify sa blockchain, i-input mo lang yung wallet address mo sa Explorer like Etherscan or BSC, then you can easily see all the transactions that has been made from day zero up to latest. So that's how you can trust and see the transparency of these records in blockchain systems. Next, security. Blockchain transaction records are encrypted, which makes them very hard to hack. Moreover, because each record is connected to the previous and subsequent records in a distributed ledger, hackers would have to alter the entire chain to change a single record. So, as I mentioned earlier, you can assume that it is safe because the data is transparent, you can see it in the blockchain, but there are also factors that can also affect the security of the blockchain system. For example, these hackers that infiltrated this blockchain system and rewrites the contract or replaces the contract, then automatically yung mga mga elemento na gumawa ng smart contract and pinalitan yung smart contract ng blockchain system would actually take advantage of the existing blockchain using their contract, to do bad things. So you can say it's secure, but you can also say that there are ways still to hack blockchain systems. So savings. Smart contracts remove the need for intermediate to handle transactions and by extension, they're associated time delays and fees. So if you have smart contracts existing within blockchain systems, there's no intermediary. Walang middle person sa gitna. Walang kumahawak ng mga transaction ng isa to another because this program automatically handles those transactions. Meaning to say, these are all automated. These processes are regulated and being done automatically by these smart contracts. So you don't have to push buttons to click certain context menus in a computer to execute actions. You can easily done things by using smart contracts. Well, we mentioned earlier the advantages of smart contracts in the blockchain system, but there are also disadvantages. Number one, smart contracts are not free from disadvantages because of some disadvantages. Few of the major disadvantages include error, confidentiality, and rogue contracts. Smart contracts are created by humans, so are open for human errors. Also, they are not 100% confidential. It can leave some vital info which can be read by a third party. Not only that, but there are also raw contracts that can act like a real one and make fraud possible. So just imagine, ang gumawa lang din naman ng smart contract is of course software developers or we have one developer here for SparkCoin. Nakita ko kanina pumasok. Si Adri. Hello, Adri. Our senior blockchain developer. He's one of the vocal people in charge with creating smart contracts for our DeFi system or our platform, decentralized finance platform. Si Adri tao din. Diba? So when you create these smart contracts, when you create these smart contracts, halimbawa, during that time na gumagawa siya, antok si Aldrin, di pa nakakapagkape. Imbes na ganitong condition ang ilagay niya, itong if-else statement na to lang, kapag si Dre nag-transfer ng 1,000 pesos, dapat ma-transfer kay card is 1,000 pesos. But instead, dahil medyo sabaw siya, kapag nag-transfer si Dre ng 1,000 pesos, ang mag-receive ni card is only 500 pesos. So that's how error could happen on smart contracts. Human error. Kasi that time, sabaw si Aldrin. Kapag hindi pa napakapagkape, walang concentration sa ginagawa. But these are prone to, various factors din. So when you say human error, it can be subjected to how the developer creates the smart contracts in a specific situation. It can be hindi sinasadya. Kasi pag sinasadya na, meaning to say, you are actually doing smart contracts that will actually destroy a blockchain system. But luckily, we have very talented senior blockchain developers in our company that creates really good smart contracts. So you can trust it, and so far, wala pa naman nangyayaring hacking na nangyayari sa system namin, sa blockchain applications namin. So it's not easy to create smart contracts. It really takes a lot of expertise, to do this and to execute this in our products and services. So, also na-mention din dito yung confidentiality. Since smart contracts can be also inspected on explorers like DSScan, Etherscan, and other blockchain explorers, you can easily see different conditions on that specific smart contract. Like na-mention ko kanina, yung pag-transfer ko ng 1,000 pesos to card na naging 500 pesos. Yung confidentiality nawawala kasi it's on a public blockchain. Kapag sinabi natin nakikita yung right, hindi yung transaction, yung condition na dinedefine on every processes can be also seen on that blockchain explorer, like in Etherscan and BSCscan. Ano yung mga minimate na conditions sa if-else? Kapag ganitong condition, pupunta dito. Kapag na-meet itong ganito, pupunta dito. So what if you are dealing with this sensitive data, halimbawa in a hospital? There are certain instances that because of these smart contracts, the confidentiality of these records cannot be easily, implemented. Because dumadaan siya sa mga smart contract na to, and in every transaction, nare-record yung mga data. So, kanina na-mention ko may mga public blockchain, may mga private blockchain din. That's how these hospitals or these institutions utilize private blockchain on their use cases din. So, with this, may mga masasamating loob na gumagawa talaga ng mga smart contracts na panglinlang, na pang-take advantage, or pang-rug pull. Like, before may na-encounter kami isang project na nag-apply sa isang initial DEX offering platform namin sa Spark Launch. Di ko alam kung sinasadya nila, but may isa silang condition sa contract nila na parang to make the token inflationary. Yung burning mechanism pala ng token nila. So, parang hindi nila fully na-inspect yung smart contract na yun and na-verify yung tamang processes. So, lumabas na kailangan pala nilang palitan yung smart contract ng token nila kasi mali. And that caused chaos within our community, but it was easily dealt with damage control measures with our team. Expert na kami dyan. So, naagapan naman yung bad effects nun sa platform namin. So, blockchain developers should be also careful with dealing these smart contracts and creating these smart contracts para kapag in-expect din ng community, wala masasabi. And kapag in-expect yung mga conditions within that smart contract, alam nila na tama yung pinupuntahan ng mga transactions nila. Okay? So, be careful with different projects and yung mga hindi pa talaga, lalo sa mga newly launched projects, meron kami sinasabi na jargon na DYOR, you always do your own research kapag dealing with these projects kasi we mostly deal with, monetary value in our cryptocurrency assets. So, kapag may pasok mo na yan dyan, and kapag yung smart contract nila ay really into their advantage, hindi naman talaga sa'yo, then hindi ka. Wawalan ka ng, negative yung cryptocurrency value mo. Okay? Next page, please. Now we discuss the different use cases of blockchain technology. You can see on our graphics, the SRT token is surrounded with different decentralized applications. So we are doing actual real-life use cases of blockchain technology. But since we are talking about general applications, I researched some topics that would be really more impactful in the future when we use blockchain technology in this specific aspect of our society. So let's take a look on these cases. Capital markets. For capital markets, blockchain unlocks easier, cheaper, and faster access to capital. It reduces the barriers to issuance and enables peer-to-peer trading, faster and more transparent settlement and clearing, reduce costs, decrease counterparty risk, and streamline auditing and compliance. Nowadays, may mga na-encounter tayo venture capitals like first SparkPoint. We have SparkPoint Global Ventures. It's the global arm of SparkPoint that invests on on projects that are just starting pala. Mga startups, mga nasa seed round pa lang or naglakanap pa lang ng funding para sa project nila. And SparkPoint Global Venture take advantage of blockchain technology by just using blockchain technology. You want funding, then I'll transfer you this specific amount in USDT, in stablecoin, or in cryptocurrency. We're just using blockchain technology. Na i-transfer na agad yung investment. Di mo na kailangan ng middle person. Di mo na kailangan ng asset broker or ng mga financial bodies or mga companies that act as third party or middleman between an investor and a project. So you don't need that anymore. On a conventional and traditional setup on companies and in the corporate world, you always use these financial managers, you always hire these stock managers in order to manage your investments. With blockchain technology, not anymore. Ini-eliminate nila yung taong yun for you to have a direct transaction and direct transaction with that specific person. So that's how we work in with capital markets. Central bank digital currencies or CBDC are digital form of central bank money that offers central banks unique advantages at the retail and wholesale levels, including increased financial access for individual customers and a more efficient infrastructure for interbank settlements. Nakakarinig na ng balita na ang Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas nagde-develop na ng stablecoin. Encounter nila yung news.
Yes.
Even other countries like recent na institutionalize ang Bitcoin to do transactions within their government. Nangyayari na siya. So, using this technology, mas may madali na silang, mas madali na silang mode of payment to these different transactions within their offices, their institutions, and governments. So, ngayon, ang mga central banks, nag-invest na on developing this on developing blockchain technology in their systems. Malay nyo, few years from now, meron na talagang actual na Philippine stablecoin, like PHP, backed by real fiat value in Philippine peso. Kasi kaya di ba natin nas nakikita sa, halimbawa for example in the United States, they have a lot of stablecoin, USDT, BUSD by Binance, UST na medyo nag-plunge. In the future, Philippines may have also our own stablecoin, and everything will now be in digital form. Mawawala na yung mga pera natin, mga bariya, mga paper bills. It can happen really soon because of blockchain technology. Decentralized finance. Kanina na-mention namin that SparkPoint offers decentralized finance platform. So it refers to the shift from traditional centralized financial system to peer-to-peer finance enabled by decentralized technologies built on Ethereum. Not only just Ethereum, and also by different blockchain networks like Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and other blockchain networks. So millions are building and participating in this new economic system that is setting new standards for financial access, opportunity, and trust. So since 2020, December of 2020, our company, SparkPoint, have already launched our decentralized finance platform in December of 2020. So our first decentralized application that we launched is a staking application. So we are now calling it Spark Pool. So in this decentralized finance app, as I mentioned earlier, na-discuss ko kanina na you stake specific amount of tokens. And then, a smart contract deals with it, computes it, and automatically computes the reward rate that will be given to you in return. So that's the kind of real-life application of blockchain technology that we use in a decentralized finance system, like we use in Spark DeFi or Sparkpoint's decentralized finance platform. There are also a lot of DeFi systems that you can find online. PancakeSwap, Uniswap, SushiSwap, ano ba? Mga exchanges na may swap sa ending ng pangalan. Yan yung mga ibang DeFi system na pwede natin makita yung utilization ng blockchain technology. Now we talk about digital identity. A blockchain-based digital identity system provides a unified, interoperable, and tamper-proof infrastructure with key benefits to enterprises, users, and IoT or Internet of Things, management systems. The solution protects against theft and provides individual greater sovereignty over their data. So nakikita natin itong application na to sa management system ng tawag doon. Ano yung issue ngayon na identification card? National ID. But it doesn't actually utilize blockchain technology here in the Philippines. But in other countries, they utilize blockchain technology in order to record these names, these people containing their specific information like age, permanent address, date of birth, the blood type, and so on and so forth. They utilize this in order to automate the processes of processing this information for every individual in the population. So that's how it works in the digital, managing digital identities. Energy and sustainability. Oil and gas companies suffer from siloed infrastructures and lack of transparency, efficiency, and optimization. Enterprise-grade blockchain solutions can significant increases process efficiencies and reduce costs associated with oil and gas operation and distribution. So someone from food chain supply, gawin natin siya sa oil and gas. So, in this application of blockchain technology, mas nagagawang mas magiging efficient and mas cost efficient yung nangyayaring transaction within on managing oil and gas sa mga ganitong dealings. For example, oil and gas companies nowadays, nabasa ko kanina sa isang article ng Shell that they are already utilizing blockchain technology. Na the amount of money that are kumbaga na natitipid nila is almost lumalagpas na ng 20% because they utilize blockchain technology. I didn't dwell very deep sa kung paano yung pag-process nila on utilizing blockchain technology, but imagine the cost that you are saving when you implement blockchain technology in this area of, in this big area of businesses. Now we talk about finance. Financial services struggle with archaic operational processes, slow payment settlements, limited transparency and security vulnerabilities. Blockchain enhances the efficient digitization of financial instruments, which increases liquidity, lowers cost of capital, and reduces counterparty risk. Palagi namin itong topic sa office. I won't mention name of banks or financial institutions, but palagi namin problema ang failed transactions, failed transfers, especially in color blue na bank ko. Ganyan. Kasi these companies or these financial institutions still utilize the traditional way of taxing. But meanwhile, on other countries, they're already adopting blockchain technology in order to automate processes. Kasi yung mga dinedevelop din kasi ng mga applications, kumbaga, it's so Web 2. Ngayon kasi Web 3 na kasi ginagamit ngayon. So, by definition, there are a lot of advantages over the previous generation of Web 2. And this application utilized by these companies are still based on Web 2. Meanwhile, some other companies in other countries, financial institutions are now utilizing Web 3, which are more advantageous on processing, halimbawa, financial records, managing their assets in fiat value. So, halimbawa, ino-convert mo na ng bangko yung fiat mo into a digital asset for it to be easily managed. Tapos, kapag gusto mo na mag-withdraw, it automates the process of converting again by smart contract from a stable coin or a cryptocurrency asset into an actual fiat money that you can easily withdraw on different ATM, automated transactions. So mas nakikita natin na blockchain technology would further advance the banking system here in the Philippines kung nagagawa ng tao. May nababalitaan tayo like Paymaya became a digital bank na. I think digital bank na ba? Because they already obtained digital banking license from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Tapos nabalitaan ko recently nag-react si Gcash na hindi ba sila magpagkakaroon ng digital banking license to be called a digital bank? Para sila. But, just imagine the efficiency and cost that you are saving kapag in-implement mo sa mga financial institutions. Mas madali yung processes ng pag-receive ng pera, mas madali yung pagpapadala, and mas efficient. Wala na masyadong mga intermediates na mag-handle ng mga transaction because direct peer-to-peer. Wala na bangko. So it might happen in the next few years, but di may iwasan. Blockchain is already here and banking institutions should adapt to these changes. Global trade and commerce. So major trading companies and consortiums are recognizing the transformative impact of blockchain in operating global supply chains, managing trade finance, and unlocking new business models. Consensus blockchain products offer secure digitization, enabling the tokenization of existing documents that are present. So ngayon, nakikita natin na ang mga big companies like, hindi siya big company actually. You know that global stock exchanges called NASDAQ, the Philippine Stock Exchange, and other stock exchanges around the globe could really take advantage of blockchain technology if, what I mean is, could really take advantage of this by applying it under systems, for example, on global trading of stocks. Na-encounter namin before on Coinbase, a global cryptocurrency exchange based in the United States, that stocks are backed up with, cryptocurrency tokens or just a token are backed by real stocks in this financial institution. So it's represented by an actual stock. This token is represented by an actual stock and being traded under trading applications. So para lang siyang crypto trading, but you are trading stocks. It's just that this trading are done by actually using stocks in the stock market. So that's how they utilize it in global trading. Sa gobyerno and public sector. The Ethereum blockchain technology allows governments to build trust, improve accountability and responsiveness, increase efficiency, reduce costs, and create high-performing government functions with more secure, agile, and cost-effective structures. Just imagine the government using blockchain technology wherein alam mo kung sino nag-approve ng transaction na to, alam mo kung sino nagpasa or nag-send, and alam mo kung sino ang nag-receive. Nowadays, in government transaction, grabe ang red tape. Mag-apply ka lang ng driver's license, basta may connection ka sa loob ng LTO, makakuha ka agad ng lisensya. Walang pila-pila. Minsan, kahit walang theoretic ka na, apply ka. Because it's red tape, may insider ka. But if you eliminate these bad elements and replace it with blockchain technology, you know how these processes can actually benefit the mass. Kasi imagine the pile of lines. I mean, yung linya na nakikreate just to apply for licenses in the government, issue IDs, and so on and so forth. Napakahaba because of this intermediates or yung mga middle person or person working to process your information. So kapag ginamitan natin yan ng smart contract, mas madali, di ba? Mas mababawasan yung paperwork, mas mababawasan yung pila, mas mababawasan yung sakit ng ulo ng mga end users, and mas makakasave ang gobyerno sa basura. Because what are now working for them are not people, but smart contracts. That's how one application blockchain technology could really improve the government processes inside their offices. Just imagine that. Pag-apply ng birth certificate, how many days? 3 to 5 days. Dadating sa iyo, 5 days maximum. Tapos, dami pang mabayaran. Just imagine. Next, please. Real estate, retail fashion and luxury, sports and esports, supply chain management. So, in real estate, enterprise Ethereum enables the digitization of assets and financial instruments. Related din siya sa financial institutions. So, yung ownership ng mga different land titles can be tokenized and be stored in the blockchain. So, kapag gusto mo na ipapapile sa daga mo, you just transfer the ownership to one of others, then you know the actual owner of this real estate. Sa happening on Metaverse, bumili ka ng isang plot sa Metaverse, pwede mong ibenta, swap, or whatsoever. Ganun yung real-life application niya sa real estate. So, yung mga titulo ng lupa mo, pwede mo nang i-tokenize and store it in the blockchain. Mas easy ang access, mas transparent, mas efficient, at mas accessible siya sa mga gusto kumuha. Like, pag-process ng data ng mga nasa nasa municipality or nasa city hall, and pagkuha ng mga actual owners ng mga land titles, mas mapadali siya through blockchain technology. Retail, fashion, and luxury. The retail, fashion, and luxury industry rapidly changes with the demands of consumers. Blockchain stands to address long-standing industry challenges by improving data management tools, enhancing supply chain operations, and reduces the risk of counterfeit and gray markets. So now, may nakikita ako na, lalo na nung nag-attend kami sa Manila, na pati sapatos tinutokenize. It proves it actually shows the proof of identification kung kanino talaga yung sapatos, or the proof of validation that it's not a counterfeit product. It's an actual product produced by that specific company because nakatag yung shoes na yun sa actual tokenized na sapatos. So you know how retail, fashion, and luxury improves sa pag-eliminate ng mga counterfeits in the market. So i-associate mo lang yung garments na ganito, sapatos, medyas, or even jewelries. You can associate it on, kapag minint mo na yung jewelry, imit mo din ang NFT para alam mo yung value niya is 1:1. And then kapag pinasok mo na siya sa blockchain, you'll just transfer the ownership to another one by swapping it or by sending it to another wallet address. Then the actual owner will also change. And ibigay mo yung jewelry mo in real life to a specific person, then the process is done. Mas madali kaysa sa pag-ano pa, ibigato pa sa... Yeah, that's how NFT marketplaces exist. And now, the marketplaces of actual fashion and luxury is also adopting blockchain technology by tagging real-life objects, real-life products to NFTs. Ganun na yung nangyayari ngayon sa retail, fashion, and luxury. Now next, sports and esports. So Ethereum-enabled smart contracts can streamline existing esports operations, provide new revenue models, and enhance fan engagement with enhanced loyalty programs in the segments. Napansin niyo before na ang Barcelona football team issues, tama ba? Barcelona Open ba yun?
Yeah.
Tama, Barcelona Open ba yun? So, yung mga fans nila, ayun, mga active fan base ng mga ganitong sports team are now given the benefits of having the actual token by using these tokens on buying merchandise offered by the sponsors of this specific sports team. Barcelona token. So parang yung use case ng cryptocurrency token na ito is fun for the fans, for the fandom, pambili ng mga merch, pang-support sa mga iniidolo nilang mga team players in the specific football team. So, ganun yung nangyayari ngayon sa sports and esports. Sa esports naman, like mga gaming, mamaya, ma-open up itong topic about how games are now actually utilizing NFTs. For example, sa Mustache Quest, na Ownly, mag-discuss din mamaya. So, I will let them explain further kung ano yung application of blockchain technology into these games. Supply chain management. Existing global supply chains are inefficient, poorly tracked, and oftentimes exploitative. May mga nagkukupit, may mga manipulate ng data for their advantage para financial institutions na nakalimutan ko yung term, parang minimismanage yung pera para makaano pa, makabulsa mga ganun. Masakasi yun tayo. Blockchain can facilitate accurate asset tracking, enhance licensing of services, products, and software, and transparency into the provenance of consumer goods from sourcing to the point of consumption. So you can see that sa blockchain technology, since it's a digital ledger, when you apply it on supply chain management, you can easily track the transfer of one goods to another, on who sent it and who received it. For example, sa Nestle, hindi to in real life, but for example, kung i-apply mo siya sa supply chain ng Nestle products, From one truck to another, from Manila to Bicol, nare-record automatically through smart contract. Every time may namimit ng condition na kapag i-scan na yung barcode from one location and i-scan ulit to another location, nare-record into a digital ledger kung asan na yung product. Mas matatrack mo visibly, transparently, kung saan na napupunta yung mga products and services mo. For example, for Nestle products, recorded siya. Kasi kung ilan yung pinip mo na representation sa mga blocks na yun, from the source, and sinet mo yung destination, halimbawa, Legazpi, dapat kung ilan yung minute mo dito sa location na yun din ang makarating sa Legazpi warehouse. So, makikita mo kung paano mo masisecure yung shipment ng products mo from one place to another using blockchain technology. Because you cannot rewrite the blockchain. You cannot alter or insert whatever information you want in a blockchain. Kasi kung gagawa ka ng yung information, i-append mo siya sa very last one. And yung lahat ng transactions na yun are already recorded in the blockchain. Thus, kapag in-inspect, ibig sabihin, may ito agad ito, ay, para may mali dito. Okay, naka-arrive na. So, ganun ang application sa supply chain management. So, I will end this discussion by this quote from Bob Greenfield from a Nasdaq chief executive. Blockchain is the biggest opportunity set we can think of over the next decade or so. So, ito ang sabi ng Nasdaq chief executive. Kasi, if you have already started developing products and services based on the blockchain, and we are already reaping the benefits of blockchain technology at this very early point pa lang, what more in the coming years? What more on the next 10 years of having blockchain technology applied on our everyday life? Sa gobyerno, sa healthcare facilities, sa pag-manage ng mga digital records mo, sa mga nakita natin na use cases, na dinention ko na use cases kanina, I think it's a favorable world to live in when blockchain technology is applied on almost every aspect of our everyday life. It's not all about cryptocurrency, it's not all about trading, it's not all about gaming, but blockchain technology also offers efficiency, cost effectiveness, saving costs. Because blockchain technology isn't just a measure of, trading cryptocurrency online, but also to make life easier on certain aspects of our everyday life, specifically on the processes of our everyday life. So I think that ends my presentation on the introduction of blockchain technology. I hope you learned something from my presentation. And if ever you have questions, I'm available there. Let's see. We can talk more about it. If you have any points, we can talk later and have some pizza and drinks. Friday na yan. Joke lang. I can also give my business card to those who want to contact me for business relations purposes. I'll be available later to discuss it with you and give you my business card. So once again, thank you so much, Ownly, for inviting me and for everyone who attended this afternoon for the blockchain meetup. I'll see you again soon, and we hope to see each other again on the next blockchain meetup. Thank you so much.
Alright, thank you so much, Dre Bamalos. He is the CFO of SparkPoint Technologies Incorporated. Alright, so are you guys okay pa? Grabe, so much information, overloaded, and squeezed into like 45 minutes, right? So, kahit ako, like parang hindi ko kinaya yung information overload na yun. But, blockchain is like a very wide topic, and we're just getting started. So, let this be the start of many learnings to come. And again, once again, I would like to thank our sponsors for this event. Beagle IT, Spark Learn EdTech, SparkPoint Technologies Incorporated. Thank you so much, guys. And now this question comes to mind. I mentioned it to the Dre a while ago. Have you guys heard about NFTs? Who among you have heard about NFTs? How from this? Have you guys heard about NFTs? Alright, so sino sa inyo merong NFTs? Alright, because that is our next topic. So, we'll talk about digital art in the age of blockchain. Our second speaker is Carl Vasquez, a creative entrepreneur. He is also the former marketing advisor of Ownly, and now an NFT artist of his own, the founder of Old Shop NFT. Few from his creative pursuits are the Allied Multimedia Arts Convention, or the AMA, if you guys know what that is, where he is part of the core organizing team of the biggest creative convention here in Bicol. He also co-founded a design studio down south, along with Isma and the others, where they help organizations, communities, brands, and businesses solve their creative needs. He is the founder and the CEO of the community-based streetwear brand Bounce Back PH, where it incorporates fashion with stories of hope and resiliency. And he also works with various clients as a creative marketing specialist. And with all his creative projects, he is recognized by When in Manila last 2019 as one of the top 30 young, successful entrepreneurs under the age of 30 in the Philippines. Let's all welcome Carl Vasquez.
Okay, hello, good afternoon. Gutom na yung mga tao. Awang pizza. So, good afternoon guys. So, it's been a long time since nagkaroon tayo ng ganitong event. Nakakamiss na siyempre makakita ulit ng mga tao sa mga audiences. And, 3 years, diba? So parang ang daming nangyari, ang daming mga good technologies, even though na pandemic siya, we thought na may mag-slow down yung mga technologies, but it actually helped us na mag-boost and speed up yung mga technologies ngayon. So that's like this blockchain topic natin ngayon. So yun. So again, good afternoon. My name is Carl Vasquez. I'm the creator of Old Shop Club NFT. So it is an NFT collection that is minted in Silili Blockchain. So I think discuss din naman ni Ray yung about sa blockchain, and hindi na siya sa akin parang hindi na ako mag-explain pa for with regards to that. So I'll be just discussing with the journey of my journey as a digital artist and the challenges on the pre-blockchain era, the advantages of blockchain for artists, and the future of NFT art in the blockchain. So yeah, maybe a little bit disclaimer lang. So this talk is about the experiences na naranasan ko journeying in this NFT space. So syempre sobrang bilis ng transition when it comes to this technology. And so iba-iba yung experience ng iba. Iba yung experience ko sa ibang artist, iba yung experience ko sa ibang mga collectors, sa mga developers. So this is a personal experience for me. So just a disclaimer. Right? So, how did I start as an artist? I started my art career way back when I was in third year college. So, nag-start na ako gumawa ng artwork. And dati, fascinated talaga ako of doing animation. Pero wala akong opportunity nun nung nag-start. Nung kumuha ako ng degree sa college. Meron lang sa Ateneo, pero so yun, parang hindi ako makapalat na nakakuha ng course sa Ateneo. So I ended up using or parang parang minasimize ko na lang yung YouTube as my parang way for me to learn things about doing art. So I'm a self-taught artist. So I do art using computer and mouse. So yung iba may marunong sa paggamit ng tablet. So it's another tool. Pero ako kasi mas nakasanayan ko na yung paggamit ng mouse with my artwork. So I do art since 2012. So this is my early artwork. So share ko lang. So ang galat pa kapag itong mga pots. So ang dumi ng ng kulay, ng slide art, andun pa. So these are my early artwork. And looking back, siguro tuwa lang din na ganito yung process or yung process na nagawa ko sa art there. And ngayon, parang nung ginagawa ko yung presentation ko, parang nakakatuwa kasi na-realize ko na it's been 10 years. So, century long na pala ako dito sa
Decade.
century. So, ayun. So, ang tagal na din. So, ngayon, yung kaninang artwork ko, I use pen nung pinagawa ko yun. Pero, di ako sanay. So, I opted on using mouse mainly. So, I'm more comfortable in doing vector art in Photoshop. I use pen tool. So, it's more of creating shapes na parang pinagsama-sama, then parang nakakuha ka ng isang artwork out of all of shapes. So, yeah, so that's a vector art. So, I've also conducted art workshop since then. Kasi nung time na yun, wala pa actually na community, wala pa akong nakapagtatanungan. So, parang lahat siya sarili lang. So, nung nag-start ako, feeling ko parang pioneer ako dito sa Albay na gumagawa ng vexel art. So, di ko alam kung baka mali yung claim ko. So yun. Pero years after practicing and doing vector art, I tried to share it with my peers. So I remember na nagpunta ako ng workshop. Nagtrabaho ako sa Manila before. Tapos nung pag-umuwi ako, sabi ko, what if I have a workshop and go to the workshop wherein I teach my friends and yung mga tawag na enthusiast or gusto na matuto ako sa festival. So yun, makita nyo, Sisma. So he was one of my students nung back then. So yeah, and tuloy-tuloy na siya hanggang nung Albay Multimedia Arts Convention, I was invited to teach how to create vector art. So yeah, and aside from that, I joined several art fairs and conventions. So yun, bring back memories sama namin sa mga art fairs, art convention. So I also sell art prints and stickers. Naalala ko na 2018. So, 2018, first time ko maka-join ng art convention sa Manila. So, it was an awesome experience kasi para syempre, akala ko, lang ako, timbahay lang ako, kapag wala ako ng art. Pero may chance pala ako na may promote and may market ko din yung artwork ko sa labas. So, maganda yung experience kasi syempre, the ability na makapag-generate ka ng income out of your crafts. So, akala mo dati parang tingin ng iba is parang it is just an artwork. Ganyan. So, ang tingin ng iba, libre lang. So, ngayon with the art prints, parang I was able to sell it to other people, mga collectors. So, yun, for 10 years na ginagawa ko to, may mga small wins. I met my fans. So, yeah. So, na ay mga recognition from people din. So, nandito ko yung mga idols ko, syempre. So, and wala kasi dito yung screenshot, kapag dito hindi ko na na-upload or na-download yung image. Pero na-recognize ko yung isang alternative poster ko ng Viva Films. So, parang may ganun, mga recognition na nakuha out of this passion. So, yun. So, syempre, for that experience na naranasan ko, there are a lot of challenges nung wala pang blockchain. Uh, so yun, limited opportunities for artists. So, very limited siya. To the point na nung time na wala pa yung so wala kang channel or way for you to sell your art. And purely sa word of mouth pa lang siya. So it's a good help nung start ako. Pero very limited pa lang talaga yung opportunities for artists na ma-promote na yung work. So yun, like what I shared kanina, it's hard to look for communities. Yung Facebook kasi, yung time na yun, wala pang mga groups, wala pang mga GCs, wala pang group chats. So parang paminsan ang hirap mag-reach out for people or artists na may alam din. So parang if you're sharing the same art style, so ang hirap niya hanapin. So it will cost you time and time to produce your work. What I mean by this is, syempre, kung nagbebenta ako ng mga art prints, nalabas ng pera for you to produce your artwork. Nag-print ng stickers, nag-print ng mga bookmarks, nag-print ng mga kung ano-ano pa, like t-shirts and all that stuff. And it takes time din talaga. Like, yung experience ko before na paminsan yung supplier ko nasa Manila pa para lang magkakaroon ng sticker na quality talaga. Siyempre, we want quality kind of sticker na bibenta natin sa mga audiences or so, it really time-consuming na makapag-produce ka ng artwork na makapag-pwede mo. So there's a new challenge to promote your craft. So, ayun, if wala pang ano time na yun ng mga art fairs, wala pang ano, parang hindi pa masyado na nasusuportahan paano mag-promote yung mga crafts. And good thing, there are now lots of mga social media. And ngayon mga social media, medyo mas nasusuportahan yung mga artists ngayon sa community. And in profit, syempre, it's just one-way transaction. What I mean by this is parang pag bumili ka, so yun ay end of transaction. So parang kung mas marami kang yung volume ng artwork or art piece mo, saka ka pero syempre, it takes luck. Swasdayan lang kayo. Maraming maka-trip dun sa ginagawa mo. So, it is hard, it's tough to thrive as an artist. So, it is really hard for me then before na paano ka mag-excel. So, it takes luck and hard work to succeed on this kind of industry as an artist. Alright. So, advantages of blockchain artists. So, andito na tayo sa second part. So, andito na yung blockchain. So, it actually really opens the door for many artists. So, madaming opportunities na bukas for us to share and to promote our works. So, there's strong NFT community din na meron ngayon ang NFT blockchain. So, ang daming mga whales na dito ngayon, ang daming mga NFT collectors. So, mga tahimik ng mga yan, para si Mark. So, andyan sila na nakabang lang kung ano yung mga okay na NFT collection. So, very strong ang support when it comes to sa Twitter, ngayon sa Discord, paminsan na nakakapa pa ako at muted. Pero, grabe ang kanila nung so, it's also less hassle than to produce your work. So, kung dati, what I experienced is, nag-print pa ako. So, ngayon, pwedeng direct ako na sa marketplace, mint ko na siya. Then, wala ka nang problemahin pa on where you can print this artwork, mga suppliers na ganito. So, it's less of a hassle. Like, pag nasa blockchain na, pag naka-NFT na yung artwork, then wala, parang paggagawa mo, then okay. And lots of ways to market there. So, like what I said, may mga Twitter na, may Discord, and all that stuff, na pwede mong ma-promote yung mga gawa mo. And luckily, yung ginagawa ko kung old shop, ang daming mga nag-support, even though parang hindi sila kilala, and nasa mga international yung mga collector. Parang nakakamiss na you can reach all those collectors. So dati, hindi na siya limited like before na local, paminsan babasa ka lang sa foot traffic, sa mall, kung andun yung art fair. So, sobrang ibira. So, yan. Pero dito, really open sa lahat ng so yun, now the profit, yun is parang pwede na siya mag-reach sa secondary market. So sa NFT, kasi pwede, if smart contract, parang you can, parang ma-share mo, na parang may makukuha ka royalties. So may royalties siya. Like before, na pag nabenta ka ng sneaker, after that, or parang kung binenta na ng ibang tao yung art piece. So, yun na nag-stop yun. So, wala ka na makukuha from that point. Pero, like sa NFT, parang may makukuha pang royalties. With all that that's happening. Okay, so, the possibilities are endless. Ang dami pang nangyayari, ang dami pang mga development na nagagawa for blockchain. So, future of NFT art in the age of blockchain. So, it would help ease the lives of artists. Siyempre, like yung mga pinagkita ko na yung less of a hassle na siya kung mag-create ka, mag-aras wala na kami. And it builds confidence to artists din. Siyempre, kasi mas makikita mo na may mga collector, may mga tao pala na kayang mag-support for your passion din. And creating art alongside this technology really helps us as an artist na mag-boost din yung productivity namin without worrying na paano kami magpahanap ng mga siyempre may factor din kung paano makahanap but somehow easier ngayon kasi ang daming mga platform, mga social media that help market your crafts easily. So potential are endless. So mind blowing just all the time. Okay. So share ko lang din yung NFT collection. So quick intro lang. I used to do this kasi way back 2018 when nag-start yung mga art fairs, yung pag-conduct ng art fairs. So, ito kasi parang nasa cafe lang ako noong time na yun. I was student kasi nag-iisip ako or pinag-dudahan ko yung decision ko ng time na yun. Kung bakit ako umalis ng Manila, sa Bicol. Pero with this kasi parang nakita ko yung parang dinudat ko lang siya. So it's parang down. So parang kumbaga sa akin, it symbolizes na validation na okay lang yan. So parang cheer up. So ganun lang yung concept problem with persons. And I want this to parang share it to the world, share it to my connector na parang everything will be okay, everything will be fine. So yun, so this NFT collection is more like a lifestyle. So parang if this art speaks sa'yo, then yeah, you can let or so yung art naman na to is actually continuous pa yung paggawa ko nito. So I was aiming to produce 100 ko na for hanggang sa second series ko. Kasi sa ngayon kasi may 25 pa lang na old shop na nakamit sa TEA or sa ticket. So yun, kaya yung i-check din yun. So there are few pieces left for this collection. And may kami na din sa hopefully by June matapos ko na lahat ng illustrate, lahat ng mga old shop. So again, you can support it. It's under the blockchain. And again, so to conclude lang din, very fast na tayo. To conclude lang din, siyempre, this technology, like what I said, parang sobrang bilis na. Sobrang kamisan mapag-iiwanan na lang din kasi there are collection after collection na lumalabas. And there are lot of, siyempre, may mga rug goods lang din dyan na nangyayari. There are a lot of scam out there. Pero, siyempre, you just have to take it slow. You have to take your time in creating your own NFT collection. So yeah, and siyempre, we are on research like Trace and Karina before jumping into this launching. You really have to not learn everything, pero learn together for ano mga this technology. So yeah, thank you guys for this opportunity. Thank you, Oli.
Where can we follow you para we can follow your journey?
Okay, so you can follow me on Twitter. So Old Chat Club at Old Chat Club. So pwede nyo i-check nyo. And sa yung personal ko naman na account at Vasquez RC. So you guys can check my Twitter and Facebook page.
Yes, thank you so much, Carl Vasquez. Alright, he is the creator of the Old Shop Club NFT, and if you haven't checked that out yet, you can go search on Facebook or on Twitter for more information about that. So, speaking of NFTs, I just want to acknowledge the presence of our upcoming artists for the Only Market Artist Launchpad Team Sir SILI. So, yes, we will be releasing our teaser for that soon. So watch out for that, and you can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at OTIO. Alright. And again, speaking of NFTs, I also want to invite everyone to tune in to our live stream on Wednesday, May 25, 7 p.m. Philippine time for the mid-episode 15, Elevating Women in the NFT Industry. And of course, together with one of Only's artists, Marso, an emerging NFT artist, Isabel, and the co-founder of Filipina's NFT, Angelica Song. So watch out for that. It's going to be an amazing session on Wednesday, and I'm going to be hosting and interviewing these beautiful ladies, these beautiful NFT artists. All right, so Down to the last but not the least topic for today to talk about blockchain kings are here is our, of course, our Chief Executive Officer of Only, Ismael Jerusalem. He is also the head organizer of AMA, the Albino Multimedia Arts Convention, the biggest event celebrating creativity in Bicol region. He is also the community manager of Bicol IT and launched a very successful augmented reality art exhibit based on the Ibalot epic, Bicol's earliest work of literature. If you were one of the viewers in that sa Ayala, Malls Legazpi way back 2019, if you can remember, and it's one of the first presentations in the country that combines art and cutting-edge technology. So, he was also formerly the gallery manager of Galeria de Embarcadero, which supports homegrown creative talents in showcasing their works of art. Let's welcome our CEO of Only, Ismael Jerusalem.
Yun Pero una, thank you sa lahat pumunta sa Ownly Blockchain Meetup. Actually, this was former Bicol Blockchain Meetup, pero now we are pivoting to Only Blockchain Meetup. So yun ang as mentioned earlier, we started last 2019. So ngayon na ulit balik after nearly 3 years. So yun, na-mention na kanina, Gray from StartPoint, is back on blockchain about NFT art with Carl, and yun, siguro sa akin mabilis na yung visa. And yeah, so blockchain things are here, so yung slide, kita niyo yung slide ko nice. So yeah, so as mentioned kanina about NFT, parang kasi medyo highly technical na technology. But for me to be able to communicate it easily to those people who are not crypto natives, I often use memes as a form of being able to communicate that idea. So kasi pag sabing NFT, di ba, Twitter, Discord, gas, crypto, blockchain, Twitter, nothing. So kailangan paghalo-haloin yun just for you to learn about NFTs. Pero yung good na lang naman na sila, at least may game na kayo para yung NFT next week. Yan, pero to simplify what NFT is, pag sinabing non-fungible, for example, that anywhere is non-fungible, ibig sabihin, isa lang yan, wala siyang katulad, it's interchangeable, so it's unique. So that's why it's non-fungible. So next please. So to explain it simply, just one meme. Diba nung bata tayo, no, I want the same one. I'll get you another one. Pero ayaw mo, umiiyak ka kasi NFT yun. Hindi natin alam, NFT na pala yun. Wala na siyang kaparehas. So yun, di ba? NFT. So yan. So speaking of blockchain games, how NFT and games are being related to each other through blockchain technology. This one is crypto solitaire. So formerly, 3 years ago, we were crypto solitaire. So the idea was to create a game out of art collections, which is yeah, so it's a playing deck of cards created by a local artist in Chen. So it's may isang card siya for us to be able to communicate what NFT is, what blockchain is to lots of people. We think of doing it through games. Kaya gumawa kami yung game. Kasi pag sinabing solitaire, di ba? Subconsciously, given na yan sa tao na you play to earn kasi may cards, di ba? Tokens, solitaire, poker. So yun yung one of the earliest version of play to earn games. So yun, itong game na to, we launched namin last 2019. Then we entered the Settlement Game Jam. Then luckily, out of 100 plus global entries, we got a 13th spot. I think kami pa lang yung Filipino project back then. Then it's very easy for us to identify kung sino ba yung mga kapwa Filipino projects. And yun, so basically we create games out of an art collection. And yeah, and we made it possible through blockchain. So next please. So yung na-mention kanina, yung blockchain, for a more simplified version, just think of it as contact tracing, nangyari ng 2020. It's a list of transactions where you can verify anything, any item. So that's why we make it possible to create NFT games, yung mga assets online that we can prove that an item, a character, or a weapon, gear, and armor is truly yours through blockchain. So, next. So yun, to fast it forward, so we created blockchain games way back in 2019. And now, ito na ulit, we're creating again a blockchain game. It's called Mustachio Quest. So si Mustachio Quest naman is next. Yan. So, nag-start siya as an avatar lang, an NFT avatar. Then, we want to add utility into it. So, for example, yung profile picture mo na handle, pwede mo siya magamit sa game. Which is dati, it's nearly impossible for you to execute that idea. Kasi mahirap i-prove kung yung profile picture mo na din-download, sinave, right-click as tapos sinave mo, kinabi mo lang kung sa'yo ba talaga yun. Pero if kung nasa blockchain siya, di ba yung list of transactions, where you can verify it's an item, whether it's digital or physical is truly yours, possible na siya. So creating a game out of your NFT avatars, of your avatars, is now possible. So yan, yung 3D version siya. So imagine your profile picture, you can use it sa game. Yan. Yan yung pinatawag ng interoperability. Ang interoperability is like you can use an asset to other platforms easily. So yun, next. So yun na. So yan actually mga ano yan, 2D avatars na siya. Then we add more utility into it. Kaya siya naging yan. Yan na yung game. So next. And yun. So ganun lang siya kabilis. Pero to sum it up, ang summary is blockchain games compared to previous games back then. We can now, it's now made possible for you to truly own an item inside the game. Kasi for example, Mobile Legends, diba? For example, basic game nga na isang character. Yes, you own that skin inside the game, pero the moment that game closed, wala na. Hindi mo na makukuha yung item mo na yun. Kasi mawawala na yung item na yun. Kasama yung game na wala. Wherein, if blockchain siya, mawala man yung game, since sa'yo yung asset, sa'yo talaga you truly own that skill. Pwede mo pa siya mabenta sa marketplace, pwede mo pa siya mag-liquidate, pwede mo pa siya ma-trade, pwede mo pa siya malagay sa iba't ibang marketplace. Hindi mo lang siya pwede gamitin. Hindi lang siya limited magamit dun sa game. So that's how games are transitioning right now. Na it is now possible for us to utilize those assets inside the game outside of its original environment. So meaning that gives us more flexibility to create games, to squeeze out our creativity and imagination, what are the possibilities that we can implement using blockchain technology. And yun, we are still in the very early stage of Web3. So Web3 is the internet where blockchain exists. So we're still very early and there are still lots of opportunities na hindi pa na-explore, and that's what we are trying to do for just like what Sparkcoin is doing, Ownly, Sparker, and other blockchain companies right now. We are all figuring things out. So yun, it's an exciting industry to be part of. And so that's why if you guys are looking at what track to take after your pag-exit dito sa school, what path you want to take, you can consider blockchain as one of your choices of industry. Kasi it's an emerging technology and at the same time, it's interesting. We can speed up your creativity. We can create lots of innovations. And yun, people are friendly. Delivery pizza. And yun next, yun actually that's it. So yun, thank you very much. So in line with the celebration of Bitcoin Pizza Day. Ang Bitcoin Pizza Day kasi it's on May 22, pero we want to celebrate it in advance. So yun, meron ng pizza. So Bitcoin Pizza Day, a little bit of background bakit siya Bitcoin Pizza Day. Because way back, I think, 2010 ata, or Tama. O yan. The same date, May 22, 2010, the very first successful transaction using cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, was to purchase 10,000 Bitcoins for a large pizza. So imagine yung 10,000 Bitcoins noon, magkano yung value ngayon, ang kapalit lang is pizza. So that's why naging celebration na siya every year to celebrate the crypto space, yung tinatawag ng Bitcoin Pizza Day. And in time with that, we're celebrating with it kasi parang part siya ng industry. So we're celebrating it early. So, yun. It's now time to eat pizza. So thank you everyone sa lahat ng pumunta.
Anyways, we have 5 Mustache Quest t-shirts that we will be giving away to people here who will be asking community questions. We will be handpicking each and every one of you. So, I would like to request our speakers to sit here. Let's just put that chair in here, and then Carl Jose has already left, so we will have Isma, the CEO of Ownly, and Gray, the CFO of SparkCoin, to answer any of your questions about NFTs, blockchain, about metaverse, anything else that you need to know. It can be around art, it can be around tech, it can be around gaming. So, feel free to ask any questions. Raise your hand. Yes?
Hello po, good afternoon. Nagawa din lang po paano kayo nag-generate ng revenue out of that.
Ilabas mo website.
Wala
So how do we generate?
Invest.
May I hear your name first?
Ay, pwede po sila.
Kasi,
Okay.
find your idea mo na.
Your name po. Ay, name po. My name is Fernandez. Student of
Sige. Marami kasing perspective for revenue model when it comes to blockchain. Kasi nalawa ng live po ba?
Live
Ano wala nang safe na safe.
Pero yun, maraming revenue model na pwedeng i-apply with a certain blockchain project. For example, we're looking at the games. The gaming, to be specific. Ngayon, sa Web3, na tinatawag na Web3, we create money to make games. But in Web2 dati, they create games to make money. Di ba? Eh, how is it possible na nauna ma-create yung money to create games? Kasi may tinatawag na tokens. We are in a token-based economy where you can generate first those tokens. Those token economics, pag sinabi economics, it's the currency of a state. Diba? So we're just look at any project as the tokenomics na kumbaga yun yung currency ng isang project. So mauna yung i-generate. Then, pwede mauna, pwede mo, pero mostly, nauna siya for us to be able to create games. Diba? So, that being said, if you already created your tokens, you created your money, then you can now make games to add more utility to that money, to add more demand. Kasi basically, value is supply and demand. Diba? So, the higher the supply, and lower the demand, and vice versa. So for you to be able to napataas yung demand, we add more utilities into the token. So for them to be able to utilize the token, they will not just hold it. So in that way, you can generate revenue yung naunang tokens na na-hold since you generate it at a very early price, and maybe, just maybe after a year or 2 years, when the moment you will vest those tokens, it will have a significant amount compared to the time that you generated that token. So that's one part, and there are other stuff like NFT sales, selling NFTs, staking, and yun, sila kung saan
Buti na lang kakareview ko na ng website. No, kasi we've already revising our revenue and inflationary model since we are positioning SparkPoint as a development service company or software development service company. Aside from our current offerings of decentralized finance applications, the newly created SparkLearn and Tech Incorporated, our other arms in global financing like SparkLearn Global Ventures. So in our company, SparkPoint Technologies Incorporated, we have this revenue model that we call, that we call the revenue model. So first we generate our income through the advertisements previously on our SparkPlay products. So we have this ecosystem set of games, casual playing games that has themes about blockchain technology, and it generates revenue by in-apps purchases, advertisements from third party through Unity ads. Am I right? So yun nag-generate na yun ng pera from this set of casual games from SparkPlay platform. And then we have another source of revenue, which is the decentralized finance applications or Spark DeFi. Soon it will be SparkSwap DeFi. SparkSwap platform. So in this decentralized finance platform, we have these transaction fees that we impose on all our products and services. SparkBridge has a transaction fee. We gather SRK tokens every time a user swap bridge token from an existing blockchain to another blockchain, like Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain and vice versa. So that's one way of collecting fee from our DeFi app, SparkBridge. So we deduct SRK tokens and put it back on our revenue wallet. Another part of our DeFi app is the staking applications or the Spark pool. So we earn revenue by inviting partners and collaborate with these companies on creating pools or staking pools with them. So every time we create and we develop smart contracts for this set of company projects, we earn a certain amount for the service that we provided them. So papasok na naman yan sa aming revenue wallet. Another part of our DeFi ecosystem is the Spark Launch, an IDO launchpad platform. So Isma earlier mentioned about creating first the token so they could have funds. So they launched on our launchpad platform, Spark Launch. So they were able to raise a certain amount of BNB. Of course, it has a fiat value or monetary value in many zeros. So they were able to fund their projects through that launching kasi when you say IDO initial DEX offering, so there will be a public round of gathering funds from the community. So since we offered our platform to Ownly, we also generated income by sinisingil namin sila sa service na pinapay namin. So that's another transaction fee. Papasok na naman sa revenue wallet namin. And we have launched a new set of services. That's I mentioned earlier the software development services. We offer our development services to different companies, be it on the software development, game development, smart contract development, and of course other marketing initiatives with our partners. We also collect revenue from them. Papasok na naman sa revenue wallet. There are certain percentages from the in-app purchases and advertisements on the SparkPlay games, and from the decentralized finance apps. I think almost 100% from the DeFi apps earnings will be going to our revenue wallet. And then, of course, we are maintaining a deflationary token called SRK token. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na burning mechanism in order to, sabi ng kanina ni Isma, kapag maraming supply, mas less ang demand. Pero pag mas kaunti yung supply, the higher the demand, thus the value rises. So para mas ma-maintain namin yung value ng token namin, nag-burn kami ng SRK token. Ibig sabihin ng burning, tinatanggal namin sa circulation yung mga SRK token So ginagamit namin pambili doon para pang-burn is yung revenue namin. So it goes in a circulation or in a cycle wherein we earn money in fiat value or in cryptocurrency, and then we buy back on the open market a certain token, binibili namin yung token namin, and pinag-burn namin para yung value ng SRK token namin mas stabilize, mas tumaas pa in the near future. So ganun kami nakapag-generate ng income. So yung natitira sa na-burn or natirang fund from our revenue, we use it on our daily operations, from maintaining our payroll accounts, from hiring new personnel and team members, and of course to investing to other projects through our Sparkle Global Ventures, soon to be an incorporation too. Maybe here in the Philippines or maybe in Canada or another country. I-register namin yung company. I'm not sure yet. But that's how we consume our revenue and go it in a cycle. So far, sustainable naman yung nagiging revenue namin. Nakakapag-sustain ng mga empleyados, ng maluhod namin. Joke lang yung sa loob. Kasi kailangan i-maintain yung daily operations talaga. And through our revenues, nakakaya.
That's a lot.
In a business perspective kasi, ang daming factors na pino-consider as source of revenue.
Very layman's term, just like any other business, it runs on revenue through ads, through transaction fees, services. The only difference is that the business right here is built on the blockchain. So we have like a different cryptocurrency for the transactions. Does it answer your question?
Okay naman. Punta ka lang sa next department.
And actually, we also have like Sparkler Drive.
Yes.
Sparkler is actually like an edtech platform where they create courses. So this time it's like a product, it's like a learning platform naman. So a lot of things are possible for blockchain technology. Thank you so much for that question. Does anyone else have?
Excuse me lang, Tina. Additional lang about Sparkler din. So from our revenue din since nakapag-establish na kami ng education platform, nagiging sustainable na din yung operation ng specific product na yun, humiwalay na din siya, and naging corporation na din siya. So they already have also their own revenue model, and they're already earning from courses, from creating contents for blockchain education. So that's another way of utilizing education then to earn revenue using blockchain technology.
Yes, that's right. And we have Joey here from Spark.
Just a small course.
Yeah. And actually, they are in the process of creating free courses. So if you want to check them out, just go search Sparkler and EdTech on Facebook. They will be releasing like a free course soon about the fundamental of blockchain technology of NFTs. So watch out for that. Again, any new questions from the crowd? Sige, Malis.
Gusto mo t-shirt?
Gusto ko sa'yo.
Yung commodities kasi na, yung mga NFT, parang unstable sila. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung first wave ng mga NFTs, like yung Axie, which is yung pilot of NFTs, parang pa-death natin sila. Ngayon, yung reward token, which is Quest token, yung equivalent na sa Axie SLP. Yun, paano nyo siya gagawin sustainable na hindi siya katulad ng sa SLP. Given na reward token siya, so yung supply niya is unlimited. Tapos, paano niyo siya gagawin sustainable?
Actually, okay, mag-get question. But then again, since na-mention ko kanina that lots of things are still, we are still figuring it out. And up till now, no one has ever figured it out on how to make that tokenomics when it comes to reward tokens na sustainable. So for us to focus on that matter and think of how will the reward tokens be sustainable, I think it's not a good approach for us to focus on that. What we can do right now as in developing the Slash Quest is to focus in creating a games that even us will have fun playing that game. So for us to be not more focused more on the earning side of the blockchain gaming. Pero given na din na, syempre may earning side kasi it's play and earn, free to earn for any other models. Pero but then again, the design, yun yung sweet spot yung complementary of the token economics and the game economics. So the game design itself as whole sa isang blockchain game, yun yung sweet spot na, and if there is a project na mapifigure out on how to make their tokenomics in reward token sustainable, I think that project will have a position in the industry. Pero as of now, for example, si Axie Infinity, may millions of dollars of funding there. But then again, they are still in the process of figuring it out. So for us, same answer. Na we are still on the process of creating a games that even us will have fun playing. So yun.
Next.
Thank you for that question. Does anyone else? We can actually show you the Mustache Quest game. It's under development right now.
Ang lead developer natin dyan, together with the blockchain, si Bernard. They're all galing silang CS lahat. UCS alumni.
I was actually saying, like, if I was like, nag-start tayo ng development game noong January pa lang, but we've already developed the first quest. And it's under development right now, and we're actually building it with the community. So if you want to join our Discord, we are asking for suggestions on what you want to see for the game. Okay, so what we are preparing for the showcase, for the demo. Does anyone else have a question? Yes. Excuse me.
Pagdating mo sa transparency ng blockchain po, paano po consider na po ba si zero proof knowledge para mas zero proof knowledge, kung na-consider nyo na po siya na i-apply sa mga products para mas mas private si transaction. At kung ano yung sabi ni Kuya Carl kanina na may mga transaction na dapat private tulad ng mga hospital transactions, kung ano steps na pigyatin nyo po sa Ownly, sa smartphone para
Okay, tatanong mo yung KJ. Okay, I think you can start.
Ang main point ng question mo, JP, is
if we can like do like confidential, like hiding the proof of knowledge for the transactions.
para mas
mas secure,
mas private si transaction or kung may mga steps na pigatin para
based on my research lately, kasi while I was searching for the different use cases of blockchain technology and how can one company or team limit the access to these blockchain networks, there are some specifically designed to these specific use cases. Like for example, na na-mention ko kanina, hospitals. They have medical facilities and patient records that really needs confidentiality in terms of record keeping. And there are also type of blockchain networks that are that can be designed also to be in public because the goal really of that use case is to be publicized. For example, like monetary transactions. In the blockchain system used on hospitals and healthcare facilities, since these are sensitive information, kumbaga they create specific blockchain networks specific only for that use. I cannot really fully answer that question without having the right knowledge on how this works on medical healthcare facilities. But as far as I know, there are specifically designed blockchain systems for these use cases that are only granted or the access is only granted to specific people. For example, the management of the hospital, the actual clients and patients, the supply managers of these healthcare facilities, because they're really the focal people behind these facilities and healthcare facility. So in terms of how we can assure the full confidentiality, it depends how the blockchain system is designed for that specific purpose. It can be privatized, it can be publicized. Well, I think a blockchain developer could provide more information about that. But on my side, there are specific blockchain systems designed also for specific use cases, like for supply, for chain supplies, for medical healthcare facilities. Alam ko, may mas private type of blockchain systems na ginagamit siya that are not available for the public to see.
Siyempre ako, I just agree. Ano kasi, one misconception about blockchain is kapag sinabi decentralization, akala natin siya sinabing blockchain, dapat lahat decentralized. Which in fact, decentralization is just a feature of blockchain. It's not the product. So as Ray mentioned, there are specific use cases para talaga dyan sa ganyan na classic applications ng blockchain. It can be done, it can be implemented, but it should be put in the right context. Kasi kung in general, parang mahirap siya i-apply kasi may specific use cases na it doesn't require to be that zero proof knowledge na. Pero when it comes to transparency din kasi, hindi lang naman yun yung basis. There are lots of bases when it comes to transparency, the community, the transactions, you can look at it in the blockchain. And yun yung pinaka-perfect answer. It has a specific use case.
Yeah. Thank you po.
Meron din yung tanong.
May t-shirt na.
Yes.
Hindi ko na makalimutan question. So, my question is, how do you plan to grow your community? Since, sino po ba target natin ng mga users natin? Kasi, like, for me, my idea of fun may be different from words. Sabi na kasi at this point. So, maybe, how do we get those people to try these things out? So, ganun. And how do we build a community? Parang fun or sama, and then to try those things. Kasi I think that's my question.
Same sa
Great. This is like a marketing question, so we have to see
Okay. Okay, since marketing ready for that, thank you for that. To be honest, SparkPoint hasn't really invested that much when it comes to metaverse GameFi, NFT, and metaverse. GameFi, NFT, and metaverse. But we have this specific team or company that has been already established last year, Metagaming Games. So I can correlate to that now kasi nakikita ko din naman how their company works and how they offer scholarship to this set of market that you mentioned that are interested to play the games that has been offered to MGG. Maybe only and also other play-to-earn games can relate also to metaverse. Now, by definition of fun, of course, it's based on demographics, on the sex, gender, the place, the age, and so whatsoever factors of demographics. It depends on that, on how you will define fun. But nowadays kasi, I'm not sure if for play to earn games are still developed just for fun, no? Kasi that's why these NFT games, GameFi things are established and developed because there are certain factors involved like financing and money, or in real life money, in the game economics is the token that is being earned by playing the paper games. So how we will grow that? Well, to market them how we will grow the community, but by just making them sure that there are returns on playing these paper games. Aside from of having fun while playing the games, the associated ROI, or return of investment, like the time that you have invested in the game, will have a monetary return while you're playing it. So I think that's how you will engage the community on playing your play-to-earn games. Thus, making the community grow alongside the offered financing or ROI that you will get by just playing it. So it's the combination of GameFi or game financing and the kind of experience that you will be offering through the game. So it's a combination.
Siguro I just rephrase your question para more specific. I think you're talking about our go-to-market strategy on how our games can be experienced as the same fun as the fun that we use. How we define our fun, but go-to-market strategy natin for them to experience. When it comes to the go-to-market strategy is, for example, we're currently focused on the product development and at the same time, building relationship to guilds. So ngayon kasi may tinatawag ng guilds, mga gaming guilds. So it's an organization of play-to-earn gamers, yung mga scholars and managers relationship. May mga guilds na tinatawag yan. So for us to be able not to hit a lot of targets, so we wanted to specifically target those gaming guilds. Kasi for them, it's not hard for them to understand play-to-earn games. It's not hard for them. It's not too difficult na to convince them to play to earn. Diba? Kasi yun sila eh. They are designed to play B2E games. So for us to be able to target a specific market, we are looking at partnering with gaming guilds, partnering with guild aggregators. They are guild aggregators naman. They are the ones in between guilds and games. So, parang sila yung nagmamanage. So, for us to be able not to, hindi masyadong mahirap mag-introduce yung game, partner din kami sa mga guild aggregators. So, we introduce our game to them, then they introduce specific guilds for us. So, that's how our go-to-market strategy.
Yes. And my take on that then kasi is that for someone who's in the inside, I know how like internal marketing works. And for games like this, we don't really create or develop games just because it's fun or just because we feel like to. There's always a statistic behind that. There's always research behind that. Because we will not create like a play to earn game if there is no market, an existing market in that. And the reason why investors are actually funding games such as like this is because of the guarantee that there is already an existing market. So mas mahirap kasi mag-create ng new community rather than parang develop yung game for an existing community. So dyan papasok yung guilds, and we all know that Philippines is actually one of like the top gamers when it comes to blockchain gaming. That's why Axie actually worked really well in the Philippines because we have a lot of gamers here, and that's also the reason why like investors are trusting because there's already an interest. So it's not really just fun. Fun is like a bonus. Like we create or develop a game na kahit kami from the inside, we enjoy we enjoy using it, enjoy doing it, the game itself. Pero yung marketing niya, I feel like it's always like if you have the branding intact, we attract the right people. So we are not attracting people who are not interested in blockchain, not interested in crypto, because it's hard to convert them. There will still be conversion. But if you try to attract people who are already into gaming, they are already trying different things, mas madali na lang. So that's, I think, like, simple is always the best strategy for us. And maybe not complicating things too much. We focus on who we can serve the best. So here is like a demo of our Mustachio Quest NFT game. It's actually connected to the. So the thing actually behind this game is our lead game developer. So we have Nard, we have our CEO Bernard. And we also have Dan Barotillo, he is the artist. Kasi yung nakita nyo NFT sa while ago, na-present this month, there is like a 2D version. Yun yung pinakaunang NFTs. Para na-start yun sa 2D. And then, we thought about turning those NFTs or those artworks into a game. Na like, yung game na yun, yung artworks na yun, hindi lang siya pang profile picture lang. Na, like, if you profile picture it, you will know na, ay, mahal ko, gano'n. Hindi lang siya nag-stop that there. So, we plan specifically turn them into like 3D avatars that we can use for the game. And so here it is. We have KJ, our marketing specialist.
Speaking of fun, bukas na yung
So, ayan, si Mexico, that is actually Smax, NFT, and then we have Zenly. Yes, perfect. So, ang concept behind the NFTs are actually mustachios. So, you can see they all have mustaches. And all of them have their 2D avatars, and of course, their 3D version. So, our game developers actually parang made it make sense na they can walk, they can run, they can jump, they can do any actions in the game. Like you can try jumping, they can climb hills, they can do poses then. So ayan. It's a pretty open world game. So unlike Axie Infinity and other NFT games, NFT themed games out there, this one is actually for all about adventure. Kasi mustachios are, they have tales of their own. Parang they have stories, they are adventurers, they love going on adventures. So yeah, this is actually the first quest, and there are riddles in the game. And so the first quest is actually a maze. So memorize mo yung good luck. So actually, if you play it like on your own for the very first time, it takes around like 30 minutes, right?
first time about 30 to 40 minutes.
30 to 40 minutes.
Like that.
And there is an item that they need to there is an item that they need to get. It's like a key para mabuksan yung maze.
Isang click mo lang. Pag hindi na siya i-on, isang click.
Hindi na kasi Dami na doon po nito.
Wala tayo sa As for those statue NFTs, we released the first, parang tinatawag na Genesis set, which is the first set of mustachios last year. And it actually costs around 0.40. And we released 100 of them last year. Each of them, I think, it costs around magkano na yung sa pesos?
0.40. That time kasi mataas yung value ng market. Parang 50 to
50 to 60K each NFT for the Genesis set. So, yun, but ang hirap So, ayan, that is like for the first quest.
I knew someone would get you.
Where are you? As we go on, does anyone of you can raise your hand if you have questions about the game? Yes,
Have you encountered the capital charges?
copyright charges.
Saan sa part?
Especially on the rights.
What do you mean?
Ito yung artworks na mag-ginagawa.
Karoon sa seminar from Paris.
Ano yan, parody. Pero kasi tinatawag na parody rights. So, parang may inspired by a specific established artwork. So, inspired by siya yung credits. It's okay. Parang papasok siya as parody.
Does that answer your question?
I just want to check that.
So, next time.
Actually, the second question.
Actually, ano, we can ano na.
Yes, we can, do you guys have any questions for the both of them? Yes?
For the game actually.
Yes.
Since it's on Unity, do you recommend continuing using Reddit Unity, or would you prefer to make your own game engine?
Do we rather use Unity?
Unity or Unity? Is it much more recommended to make your own game engine?
Game.
Ano depende kung sa amin, sa goal mo. Kasi kami, ang approach namin is to launch, to deliver a project. So for us to execute it easily, so we optimize the available software, which is Unity. So kasi kung ma-pride ko rin na we wanted to create our own engine before launching our product.
I don't think longer. So like make use of the resources you have right now and then work on the polishing.
Include the most para talaga may yun yung approach natin.
Anyone else? Wala na? Sure kayo? Okay, so we will move forward to like the social networking. You guys give them your pizza, we have soft drinks, and at the same time, you can also approach our executives right here. We have Isma, we have Dre, we have Bernard right there. You can also approach our game developers here. If you have any questions about the game, reach out so that malay natin, diba? We will see you soon.
I have a question, everyone. May I ask, ano na yung age, ano yung nandito muli? Age group?
Gen Z.
Gen 20s. May mga 22, 23 na ba dito? Early 8. From what colleges kayo? Yes. Karamihan taga-CS. Galingan nyo kasi malay ko pag-training kami. Mga alamat ka ng CS ko, sina Kuya May, sina Kuya. Pag-isipan namin. Actually, before, we accepted interns from Inilina. More on the management side, but as for development side, wala. But, who knows? Let's see. Kasi, panawin natin ang boss.
Alright, so okay kaya nalagay sa kaya guys,
Oo, nung nagpapadulong sa ano, nung naman na sa Joseph. Ako na yung pangalan.
We other from other schools received by
Guys, picture mo na tayo. Dito na Oh, baby. Sakit mo ba? Wait, yung iba dito, sorry, dito kasi tayo. Ayan. Okay na. Sige, sige, okay na. One, two, three. Oh, plastic shoes! Ay, hawak lang! Alam mo naman sa sumihan. Alam mo natin yung plastic.
Actually, block yan. Wala ko yung tapos, bigla lang siya. Hindi pa ako makapag-ayos. Kaya, kasi ito, ako mag-prepare mo siya. Diba ka sa ako na lang, ikaw na lang.
Ilan yun isma?
Pag-iwa ko na lang, ako na lang po.
And then you have involved there, meron tayo mga team courses, pwede yung access. And then, iba, natatapos ka ng NFT for the next year. So, kung meron kayo na access to it, every year meron tayo pwede tayo mag-department tayo. Like to have your smart contract website, so those are the marketing for anything. Pero ang issue din as a software, pwede kayo makapahog sa akin. If may mga users, if not, you can share and get to it.
Ano sa BTT na lang. May announcement daw guys from Sparkler. Ayun, ayun. Ayun, ayun. And I want to discuss the become a future to be a future developer. So, ano pa? Then, I want to understand, you can contact me and you can website at lrn.uc.com. Yeah, I think you know one. And we're going to do campus. It still happens in September 2022. It's going to Team Technology Officer are in a very and a very old master. Yeah. Then I'm going to learn one if you want to. And basically, the online course, you don't have to work master. Yeah, thank you. So if you know blockchain developers, very valuable. May questions po yun. Si PJ na mag-announce ng winners ng computer. Winner ka ba? Wala ka rin. Hindi ko kakantay mo.
Lima man lang. Lima man lang yung nagtanong lang. Lima, okay. Lima. Yung mga
Cute, right seat. Ang cute.
Wait. Hindi ko. Ano lang ba? Bag. Ano bag? No? Ang sexy lang daw. Wait, ano na yan? Ano? Isa ka? Yards! 1 million old.
Para sa akin mo.
Kasya ba?
O yung mga
Actually, when it comes to Philippines, in-house na yung ginagamit natin. So, wala talaga kami source. But maybe in the future, baka maghanap kami ng additional manpower for marketing. Specifically, ano, sa kasi pinukulang kami sa manpower when it comes to that. Kinusulit ba na ano pa? Kwento na.
Baka makakawin sila. Mas mga
Hoy, makagamit ko lang.
Ano ba mo? Sinasado.
Boys!
Bye. Bye. Ingat, ingat.
Pero pwede naman sa puro kami ko naman sa akin.
Parang kawal kita ya.
Parang parang sa kanan.
Kung may na kayo, pwede.
Ito po, hindi kami magbalik. Tapos naman siya lagi. Pwede na sa event. Karena naging problem natin sa ilalim man, ito yung sila. Ika, tapos yun lang.
Things that may parang successful ka
Nag-isip ako ng balik kasi nung naglalakad ako. Kasi wala Para na ako play that day. 4 days before magsisila.
Walang sila bilang sabay ka na po.
Like,